Hey, all over the world, my narcissistic abuse survivors or ones who are still going through that abuse. I am Sheila Wiley, a disciple for Christ, coming to talk to you briefly today about trigger points. So, as you are going through your healing and you're working out through your surviving this horrific abuse, right? You sometimes, whenever you're relating to other people, and you may be able to attest to this, when you're relating to other people, there may be things that they perhaps do, say, or even actions that brings your thought pattern back to how the relationship was with the narcissist. So what I mean is different things that used to occur while you were with that demonic force, that narcissistic imp, somebody who you're having a relationship with or even correspond with now, some things that they may do may trigger and get your thought pattern back to that bad lifestyle that you were living, or those bad or that bad part of your life that you no longer want to remember, or maybe that part of your life that you perhaps thought that you had forgiven yourself or forgiven that person, or actually just forgotten about. So here goes, trigger point. So I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and basically one thing that the narcissist did when he was love bombing me, he had a pattern. I knew his pattern. I knew, when he was going to bed. I knew when he was awake. I knew when he was getting ready to go to work. I knew when he was going to call me. I knew how often he may call me. I didn't know the exact time, but I know it was always throughout the day. I knew that he was always going to send me text messages. So what happens is when that narcissist get out of that pattern, you're beginning to wonder, like, in the beginning, it's like, okay, you don't really think about anything. However, if this change of pattern begins to keep up, then you may say, hey, what's going on? You're wondering in the back of your head, what is this change? Is this change why such a significant change? Why such a quick change? And you're wondering like, what's going on? That's something that I did. So now when I was relating to a friend of mine coming up to speed, when I was relating to a friend of mine, a current friend of mine, this person too had a routine where they were, where they would contact me at certain times. We would talk at certain times. And then that pattern, I had gotten used to that pattern because that pattern had been the same over a series of months. Some of y'all may be able to understand what I'm talking about, where I'm coming from. And then all of a sudden, boom, week one came, and I began getting messages like, oh, I'm sorry. I've been so busy. And, now this person is reaching out to me much later. So here's the trigger point. I'm relating what this current person is doing, or the current person's actions, to what the narcissist was doing back when he and I were together. So remember, the narcissist, they have a pattern. The pattern does not change. It goes the same way, and you begin to learn them. Then that pattern begins to change. And usually that pattern is when they are now with their new supply. That pattern is now when they are spending time with that new supply. So that time that narcissist was giving you, when they had that pattern, right? Okay. So notice, if his pattern or his or her pattern begins to change, know that it's somebody else who is supplying or who is meeting his or her need at that time. And so then just know that after that pattern has been changing, soon that discard is going to come. Okay. So it's going from the love bombing to the devaluing to the discard. All right. So now coming back up to speed with my new friend, because right now the purpose, you don't want to get stuck not trusting anybody else, because that's where I'm at right now. I'm kind of in between trusting people again due to the impact that narc had on my brain. I'm in between trusting people and not trusting people. So when that trigger point came up, in the beginning, I was trusting this person. But when that trigger point came up, my trust level began to dwindle a bit. Now I'm shaky with the new person. Okay. I'm shaky with my new relationship. This goes for anything, whether it's a relationship with your coworker, your boss, whomever it may be, your new lover, a relationship that you're in, anybody, your trust level begins to go down because those trigger points from what you remember from how the narcissist treated you and his actions, right? It ended up being something bad. It ended up being you being tossed out with you not knowing why you were tossed out. So now when I'm corresponding with this new person, the pattern had been there consistently. I'm doing well. And then after that, I really was not hearing from the person the way, within the same pattern. And then the excuses with this new person began to come. So right there, my trust level began to go down. So what I had to do was, in order for me to to continue in my healing, I literally had to pull this person aside and actually have a one-on-one conversation with this person and let them understand, or actually help them to understand, that I had been abused by a compulsive liar, by somebody who had really, really, really started out, fooling me, thinking, and I'm thinking that that person was loving me, but they were really not. So I really had to go into explaining to my new person or my new friend, what had happened to me, and that I had a trigger point. So it's okay as you're going through your healing, if whomever you relate with, right? It is okay for you to share with them your story, because if that is a true friend, they're going to wait. They're going to help you out through this journey on your healing. They're going to help to make sure, if they love you enough or care about you enough, they're going to make sure that they are doing their part. Now, remember, they don't have to bend over. The new people in your life do not have to bend over backwards to get you to trust them. But if they are a real friend and they believe in you and they want to value your friendship, they're going to do whatever it takes. Okay, hear me. The new friends are going to do whatever it takes to help you on your healing journey, to help you in being able to trust again. So I had to have a one-on-one conversation with my friend to let them know what I had been through, where I'm at right now. I had to really come forth and come honest that, hey, because of what you did, I no longer trust you well. I do not trust you well at all. So I really had to be honest with myself. I had to be honest with that person. And once they began to understand my rationale behind what I'm doing, I let them know that, hey, I'm not trying to keep tabs on you, but here's where I am in my mind. And so once I really came forth and truthful with the person, because they really value my friendship, because they really love me and care about me, they decided that they would do whatever it takes to allow me or to help me to begin trusting again. So remember, trigger points may come up when you are in your new relationships. Doesn't matter what type of relationships they are, but you want to keep focused on your healing journey. Don't allow that narcissist to get into your brain to the point of where you can no longer move forward with your life or with new friends. Hopefully this has clarified or actually helped you. Feel free to subscribe to my channel, please. Share this video with someone who you feel may need it. Also, if you have any questions or comments or need me to elaborate more on this example, please say something to me. Please communicate with me. I do love the engagement, and I'm here to help. All right. Be blessed. Have a great day.